Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Majority Podcast Productions, home to original and outstanding podcasts out to reach the truth, hearts, and ears of our audiences all over the world. We thank everyone so much for returning to our platform, as well as sharing our platform with friends, families, even coworkers. We are particularly excited about this episode here, so you guys come on and grab your teacups, grab your pillows, grab whatever it is that you want to grab to make you all comfortable, okay? We're glad to have each and every single one of you guys back, so nevertheless, if you're with friends or if you're by yourself listening, get comfortable because you know we're about to have a party. So enjoy the rest of this episode, brought to you by Majority Podcast Productions. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Canvas News, a part of Majority Podcast Productions. This is Ms. Honey, and I will be your host for this episode. So, quite a while ago, I actually did an episode about this particular topic, but now a lot more information has come out. So, I want to do a breakdown with you guys about everything today. To hear this story from the beginning, please take a listen to the first podcast that I hosted earlier last month. Link in the description below. So picking up where we left off last, it was reported back to back non-stop that the president planned on doing an executive order to ban TikTok from the United States unless if an American company were to purchase the American portion of TikTok due to fear of China having access to the privacy of the American citizens. So much has actually happened within the last month since I last reported this story. So before we get to that, I do want to say that until I did a little bit more research on it, I was really confused about the whole situation. And this is what really made me confused. If TikTok, in their words, is such a bad privacy stealing app, why are there still commercials advertising TikTok? Here are some recordings that I recorded on a specific day of them advertising TikTok on TV. Not just one, but two full commercials. Maybe it's just me, but I feel as though that if something is so bad to the point where you have to, like, you're in the middle of trying to figure out if something needs to be banned or not, would you still be having advertisements all over TV? That doesn't make any sense to me. By the time of this recording, TikTok was still known to be a privacy stealing company that you were trying to force to sell to an American company. The day of this recording, that has not happened. TikTok did not sell anything to an American company. So if this is still the case, why advertise it? Not just one, but two times on TV. And I'm sure that there have been ads and everything popping up on YouTube and maybe mobile games too, just anywhere and everywhere that you've been on your computer or been on your phone. I'm sure advertisements for TikTok have still been popping up. So if you're in the middle of a huge debate about something being banned, why are you still advertising it? Shouldn't you shut everything down for a while until you actually figure out what to do? Maybe it's just me, but that doesn't make any sense to still advertise something that's having a lot of controversy. And also, the same day that I recorded those two videos of them advertising it on TV, I went to go download it on my phone, and look at this recording, I can still download it on my phone. So if it's supposed to be banned, why am I able to still do all of this and still see all the advertisements? To me, it just doesn't make any sense. So reports have shown that it looks like that they did sign a executive order planning to ban TikTok and all China related apps. However, they gave them a timeline of 45 days. You know, like a landlord who's about to evict somebody and they give them a certain amount of time to get the money before they're kicked out. Unless if TikTok is sold to America, when those 45 days are up, TikTok will quote unquote be banned. There's also a lot of pushback from China as well. China is basically, of course, they're not trying to sell any part of TikTok to the American companies, and they're actually threatening to sue America if they try to ban TikTok. I'm going to play these news video clips for you guys, and then I'll be back with the rest of my commentary.
Trump is making good on his threat to crack down on two popular Chinese-owned social media apps. He's signed executive orders banning TikTok and WeChat from operating in the U.S. within 45 days unless they're sold. Mr. Trump says the apps are effectively spyware.
Kim, so these two executive orders came out just last night focusing on TikTok and, as you noted, WeChat, saying that the U.S. will ban these apps within 45 days unless they are taken over by an American company. Of course, we know that Microsoft is currently in talks to buy some of TikTok's operations in countries like the U.S., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. In this executive order, Trump cited some of the things we already know that U.S. officials are worried about when it comes to these apps, things like national security concerns, how they collect data. Ironically, they also cited that TikTok is used to spread the disinformation around coronavirus, which is a little bit ironic considering Trump himself has had some of his posts on social media actually removed by platforms like Facebook and Twitter for spreading disinformation around coronavirus. But TikTok, as we all know by now, has become one of the biggest hits of the last few years. But almost since the moment it launched, it's had a rather bumpy ride. At the same time, U.S. lawmakers were warning the app could pose a national security threat, saying it was putting Americans' data in the hands of the Chinese government. A national security review was soon underway. TikTok said in a statement that it stores all U.S. user data in the United States and backs it up in Singapore and would never share data with the Chinese government. By December, the Pentagon urged military personnel to delete the app from government-issued smartphones, and some branches followed up with outright bans. In June 2020, India went further, completely banning the app in the country, claiming it poses a threat to sovereignty and integrity.
We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options, but a lot of things are happening. So we'll see what happens. But we are looking at a lot of alternatives with respect to TikTok. Mr. President,
Firstly, what I wish to say is that China is not interested in the US election. We have absolutely no intention of interfering with the US election. At the same time, we hope that the US will stop obsessing over China during the election. Some comments from certain US lawmakers can be classed as concocting something out of nothing. The Chinese government always requires Chinese companies to carry out economic cooperation abroad, according to the laws and regulations.
For weeks, U.S. officials have raised security concerns over the Chinese-owned video app TikTok, saying it can help Beijing spy on Americans. And now, President Donald Trump threatened to ban it altogether. Trump stepped up his rhetoric following reports that he may sign an order forcing Chinese parent company ByteDance to sell the U.S. portion of TikTok. Microsoft was said to be in talks to acquire it, but neither side confirmed any deal. In a blog post earlier this week, TikTok's chief Kevin Mayer says his company is not being treated fairly. He says it's receiving more scrutiny because of its Chinese origins and insists it is not the enemy. TikTok's estimated to have 800 million active users worldwide, a tenth of them in the US. Experts say banning it would be challenging.
The video sharing platform TikTok is threatening legal action against the United States after Donald Trump ordered firms to stop doing business with the Chinese app within 45 days. Mr. Trump says he signed the executive order to protect the country's national security. TikTok is owned by the Chinese technology company ByteDance, which is headquartered in Beijing. The messaging platform WeChat is also a target of President Trump's ban. That's owned by a Chinese parent company too. Well, TikTok has exploded in popularity in recent years. It currently has around 800 million monthly users, and any ban in the US would have a huge impact. Around 80 million people there use TikTok regularly each month.
All right, you guys saw all those news articles. Now, I don't handle international app authorization. However, I don't understand why so much hype is going on with this app when I'm pretty sure this app would not even be available to the American public if it did not have to go through tests, agreements, paperwork, and everything in the beginning. I'm sure that there are some regulations that it has to go go through to even be available in the USA in the first place. Hello everybody, how are you doing? To listen to the rest of this particular episode, please go to the Majority Podcast Productions platform listed in the description box below. You can also listen to Majority Podcast Productions on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and many more. Feel free to also check out our other podcasts listed under the Majority Podcast Productions platform. Now that was a good episode, wasn't it? Feel free to join the discussion on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you for listening to this episode, a part of Majority Podcast Productions. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Check out more episodes as well as our other platforms, a part of Majority Podcast Productions. We look forward to seeing you guys again. Stay sweet.